A life filled with luxury can also be filled with terror, just as Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, or any other celeb who had a stalker. Welcome back to Celebrity Hype, and today we will be looking at the creepiest celebrity stalkers in recent years. Before we begin, if you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button for 600 years of good luck. No, really, it works! Being rich and famous may come with plenty of perks, but there's always a dark side to it all. You not only have to prepare for never-ending paparazzi photographers and mobs of fans, but you must also brace yourself as you potentially enter the world of crazy celebrity stalkers. While the life of an A-lister does include lavish vacations in exotic locales, and walking the red carpet at star-studded events, it can also come with a lot of insanity, as many celebs also have to deal with disturbingly determined superfans who may be threatening not only their own safety but oftentimes the safety of their families. Some of these stalkers can be fairly harmless creeps, but some can really cross the line and show you just how crazy and obsessed the human race can get. These stories prove that being a celebrity isn't all it's cracked up to be. Here are 7 stars whose stalkers will make you glad for once that you aren't rich and famous. Number 7. Harry Styles. In 2019, a man was convicted of stalking Harry Styles after spending months camped outside the singer's house. Pablo Tarrazaga Orrero left the former One Direction singer feeling scared and very uncomfortable after sleeping outside his house and posting notes and money through his letterbox. Tarrazaga Orrero, who denied wrongdoing and claimed Styles had prepositioned him, was convicted after a trial at Hendon Magistrates Court in London. Sentencing the defendant, the district judge banned Tarrazaga from going within 250 meters of Styles, his home or business address, or attending any concert or event where he was due to appear. He was also ordered not to contact the singer directly or indirectly, or post about him on social media, and was given a 12-month community order and 30 days of rehabilitation. But the Spanish national is back in court again after he made contact with Styles over social media on December 22, 2020. The sign of the time singer met Tarrazaga Orrero in March 2019 when he offered the homeless man money for a hotel room or food. He later bought edamame beans from a nearby cafe at the man's request. Tarrazaga Orrero had been sleeping rough at a bus shelter near Styles' £3 million home, and his behavior soon escalated and a 3-month stalking campaign began. Number 6. Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner's stalker situation is traumatizing to think about. American Immigration and Custom Enforcement agents deported 38-year-old John Ford back to his native Canada after arresting him earlier in 2018 after he was twice convicted of trespassing at Kendall Jenner's Los Angeles home. Ford received 2 misdemeanor convictions while she also obtained a restraining order against him. He pleaded no contest to 2 counts of trespassing and served jail time for entering Jenner's home on 2 separate occasions. Both times, Ford got in by scaling the mountainside behind Jenner's gated community and was discovered in the TV personality's swimming pool. This is not the first time Jenner has dealt with a trespasser. In an episode of her family's reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Jenner expressed her fear and anxiety after coming in contact with a stranger lurking outside her home. In 2016, a jury acquitted Siobhan McKenzie of stalking her and convicted him of trespassing at her home in the Hollywood Hills. Number 5. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish has just been banned from contacting a fan for 3 years, who is said to keep appearing outside her home 7 times in a space of 2 days. In his first appearance at the home, Roseo rang the doorbell and asked Eilish's father through a surveillance camera whether she lived there, and persisted after he was told that he had the wrong house. Mr. Roseo was adamant and remained on the porch, sat down, and began to read a book. The family called their private security service when he returned later the same evening. As early as May, she obtained a temporary ban on contact with that man. The singer said that Pranel Roseo kept popping up in front of her house, removing his face mask, touching the doorknob and bell without gloves, making sure that Billie and her family feared for their lives. The permanent ban on contact is also intended to prevent Roseo from attacking or harassing Billie and her family or attending any of her concerts. Number 4. Gwyneth Paltrow. A man previously convicted of stalking actress Gwyneth Paltrow is alleged to have done so for 20 years. Dante Michael Suyo was accused in 2016 of sending Paltrow 66 letters and packages between the year 2009 and 2015. Prosecutors claimed that some of the packages contained pornography and that Suyo talked about marrying her in some of the letters. Suyo was previously found not guilty in 2000 as part of a separate case involving claims that he'd sent Paltrow pornography and sex toys. He attributed his behavior to insanity, and a judge sentenced him to undergo treatment at a mental health facility, but he was arrested again in 2015 when he began sending Paltrow letters again. Paltrow called the ordeal a very long and traumatic experience during her testimony and said that it left her feeling very upset. Suyo told the jury that he wrote to Paltrow after his earlier conviction in an attempt to earn her forgiveness and to let her know that he was still interested in marrying her. A jury eventually found him not guilty of an attempted stalkage charge, as well as felony stalking charge. Number 3. Josh Groban. This should make anyone think twice before canceling a date. For nearly a decade, Josh Groban had been sexually harassed and threatened by an obsessive female stalker after he canceled a date with her in 2011 due to being ill. Rather than moving swiftly on, Shauna Lang, who the crooner met through a mutual Facebook fan, went ballistic. Over the past 9 years, she subjected the Grammy nominee to years of mental abuse in which she threatened him and sent plenty of sexually graphic messages. In May 2020, after finding out where he lives, she sent the star a string of sexually explicit messages. She insisted they were going to start a family together and demanded he gets rid of his girlfriend, actress Skylar Helford. She also once left a package outside his house with a small skull in it, as well as a flower and a book with sexually explicit handwritten notes in it. In the past, Josh says he'd had his security intervene and remove her if she came too close. However, now, thanks to the restraining order, she will have to stay 100 meters away from him, his family, and Skylar, who he's been dating since 2017. Number 2. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande and her mother Joan were granted a permanent restraining order against an obsessed fan who managed to gain access into their property and had notes expressing his desire to murder the singer. Fidel Henriquez was arrested at the 26-year-old Los Angeles home back in March 2020, spitting at police who were called and leaving both Ari and her mom scared for their lives. He allegedly managed to get onto the property following a deliberate drive through a gate, where he went through their rubbish and knocked on the door to the house with a love note to the singer. Number 1. Taylor Swift. As a major global pop star, Taylor Swift has dealt with her fair share of stalkers and obsessive fans. Some are so aggressive they warrant 5-year restraining orders. Others, however, such as Richard J. McKeown, are curiously polite. In October 2019, the 26-year-old reportedly broke into Swift's Rhode Island mansion and made sure to take off his shoes. McKeown drove about 200 miles from his New Jersey town of Milford to Swift's beachfront home in Westerly. He broke in by shattering a glass door and then took off his shoes as a courtesy to the Me singer. McKeown later told investigators he took off his orange shoes when he got inside because he was taught it was polite to remove shoes when a guest is in someone's home. He proceeded to wander about the 7-bedroom, 9-bathroom home before the police arrived, responding to a triggered motion detector alarm. McKeown looked for Swift, but didn't intend on hurting anyone. He also wasn't carrying any weapons. He was reportedly the third individual in 3 months to attempt to break into the Westerly property, but only the first to actually physically make it inside. One was caught armed with a knife, rope, and ammunition at the singer's home in Beverly Hills, while another broke into her townhouse in New York, but didn't want to take any jewelry, underwear, or anything valuable with him. He just took a nice long nap in her bed. In September 2020, a federal judge sentenced Texan Eric Swarbrick to 30 months in prison after he pled guilty to stalking and sending threatening letters and emails to Taylor Swift's former label Big Machine Records in Nashville, Tennessee. Big Machine Records received at least 40 sexual and violent letters from Swarbrick expressing his desire to rape and kill Swift from January 2018 and demanding to be introduced to Swift. Because of her long list of stalkers, Swift began began implementing facial recognition technology at her concerts. That's it for today, guys. What do you think of these stalkers? Do you still prefer to be rich and famous after seeing how horrible it can get? Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you next time.